spread over 8 hectares, Cornwall Park in central Hastings is the district's oldest and most established park. It is home to the district's premier cricket ground, formal rose garden, the John Holt Memorial Display House, historic trees, the King George V Coronation Monument, the Osmanthus Chinese Gardens, picnic areas with tables, and premier playground. It is a popular venue for outdoor events including Christmas in Cornwall Park, weekly summer in the park concerts in January and February, and International Cultures Day. Playground equipment includes a splash pad, swings, 10m high climbing tower with rope bridges, mini trampolines, slides and monkey bars. Seating, yes. Public toilets, yes, closed at night. The entrances to the park are off Tomoana Road, Cornwall Road, and Roberts Street. Maintenance and development programs for this park are governed by the Cornwall Park Reserve Management Plan. Green Flag 2018-2019 social media post. Cornwall Park is a Green Flag award-winning park. A Green Flag is an international mark of quality awarded to parks and reserves. There are 27 criteria against which they are judged, including management plans, community consultation and engagement processes, environmental and sustainability practices, horticultural management and succession planning, safety, and how accessible and welcoming they are to their communities. They are judged each year to ensure the parks are being consistently improved and continue to meet the needs of their communities. Coronation Memorial Drinking Fountain at Cornwall Park, built in 1911 for George V. Designed by Victor Ernest Larkham, Hastings Borough Council draftsman and assistant engineer. Builders E&W Platt of Wellington. NZHPT, New Zealand Historic Places Trust, Register Category 2, number 1078. The fountain lions were cast in New Zealand and modelled on a real lion, King Dick, at Wellington Zoo. The columns were imported from Aberdeen and the 4 original marble slabs from Australia. At the opening of Cornwall Park in November 1905, Hastings Mayor, W. Y. Dennett, stated, "The park was a family gift of the Williams, and although Mr. J. N. Williams did not personally give the land, it was through his instrumentality that it was given to the people of Hastings." The park was named Cornwall Park in December 1901 after the Duke of York and Cornwall had visited New Zealand that year. Under some pressure from a group called the Cornwall Park Movement, which included sports groups, the council voted to spend £210, $36,800, in April 1905 to set aside 5 acres of the park as a sports ground. Work began in May 1905, and soil removed from building of Cornwall Road was used on the area. A tennis court for the Hastings Lawn Tennis Club and cricket wickets were created in July. Mayor W. Y. Dennett opened Cornwall Park in November 1905 and said that James Nelson Williams had given the park under certain conditions, but these had now been withdrawn. He also mentioned that the park was to be a family gift from the Williams family, although it would not have happened, but for James's generosity. Opinions, according to the Hastings Standard, were freely expressed that in time Cornwall Park would become one of the prettiest recreation grounds in the district. Sport was well established by the summer of 1906, with 2 cricket pitches, a tennis court and a cycling track. A grandstand with 2 small rooms was authorized by the Council in May 1906, along with a 600-gallon, 2,271-liter, tank for watering the cricket pitches. A small implement shed was also built for the caretaker. Cabbage trees had been planted under the instruction of James Nelson Williams some years before, further along the Fitzroy Road entrance path, and the caretaker wanted to plant more trees in that area, but not destroy the Cabbage Tree Avenue as it is certainly a novel feature of the park. James Nelson Williams, 1837–1915, was one of the so-called apostles who in 1864 leased 12 smaller blocks within the 19,385-acre, 7,844 hectares, Haratonga Plains block. James purchased his 2 blocks in 1870, calling his new estate Frimley. As Hastings was not a government-planned town, it relied on the generosity of private landowners to donate land for public uses, such as schools and recreation areas. In December 1898, it was announced in the Hastings Standard that J. N. Williams, 1837–1915, had presented the borough with a public park from recorded proceedings at a Hastings Borough Council meeting. The Hastings Borough Council minutes record this in December 1898, that this council of behalf of the residents of Hastings accent Mr. J. N. Williams a hearty vote of thanks for his magnificent gift of a piece of land to the borough for the purpose of a park and recreation grounds. However, in what appears to be pencil and indifferent handwriting, a sentence was later added to the above minute after Mr. J. N. Williams, as representing the transferring of the property. This likely explains the reason why Archdeacon Samuel Williams's 1822 to 1907 daughters, Mrs. Lucy Warren and Miss Lydia Williams, donated Cornwall Park to the people of Hastings in 1901. Samuel was J. N. Williams' brother-in-law. J. N. Williams did not own the land, but was representing his brother-in-law, Samuel, who it appears did not want any publicity. Samuel worked closely with his brother-in-law J. N. Williams, whose name appears on legal documentation connected with Cornwall Park. Cabbage trees lining Cornwall Road through the park around 1910, Michael Fowler Collection, Children's Playground in the 1030s, collection of Hawke's Bay Museums Trust, Ruawaro Tayurangi, W215D, King George Coronation Monument, Michael Fowler Collection, the Hastings Recreation Reserve ACT-1907. Open reserves under the control of councils could not, in those days, charge for admission to enter a ground. The Hastings Recreation Reserve Act 1907 would give power to the council to charge an entrance fee to enter the ground to watch entertainment. There was much controversy locally about the act, which many thought would exclude the public from the reserve and allow the council to build houses on the park. However, these fears never materialized. Coronation Memorial development of Cornwall Park took place mostly on the Tomoana roadside in the first 15 or so years. Cornwall Road was created in 1905 and Roberts Street was created around 1912. In 1911 the New Zealand government offered a £4 subsidy, up to £250, for memorials to celebrate the coronation of King George V, and Hastings thought it would be good to take advantage of this. Debate centered on what would be best for Hastings. A more up-to-date grandstand for Cornwall Park was put forward as an option, but this failed to get a seconder in council. In the end, a drinking fountain in Cornwall Park was chosen as the coronation memorial. The Minister of Internal Affairs approved a subsidy of £200. The drinking fountain coronation memorial was designed by V. E. Larcom 1888–1961 of Hastings, and the successful tender was from E. and W. Platt of Wellington. 4 columns were imported from Aberdeen and 4 marble slabs from Australia. The 2 lions that sat upon the columns were modelled on King Dick, a lion at the Newtown Zoo. As sheep were grazing on the property at this time, a wire fence around the drinking fountain was necessary for many years to protect it. 1913 saw the construction of a caretaker's cottage on the Tomoana roadside. In 1914, a tennis pavilion was built, which was demolished in 1940. As it fell into disrepair and the timber was used to make a bulb shed in the council's Cornwall Park nursery. Due to World War I, planned development of 8 tennis courts fronting Tomoana Road was delayed until the early 1920s. The first gardens at the park were developed around 1913 on the Tomoana Road frontage, when an archway was built using Tadara poles that had once held gas lamps in Hastings Main Street. The World War I years, 1914 to 1918, saw little development at Cornwall Park. Development work resumed in the 1920s, including a road through the park in 1922 and a rose garden near the coronation memorial. There were also some small ponds on the Tomoana roadside. The first children's playground appeared on the present site near Roberts Street, around 1924. It featured a paddling pool slide, which was donated by the Orphans Club, swings, and a roundabout. Cornwall Park gates. Wrought iron gates were installed at the Fitzroy Avenue entrance in February 1924, at a cost of £556, $55,000, built by Smith and McCutcheon. Governor-General Lord Jellicoe opened these at a ceremony on August 26, 1924. He was presented with a large gold key, a Souvenir provided by the builders and architect. In 1986, these gates were sold to a Hastings resident and removed to his property in Hastings, but were later shipped to the United States when the owner shifted. The Tamoana roadside of Cornwall Park also received gates. During 1924-25 at a cost of £282, $28,000, but these were later removed. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to our channel, as we hope to make more in detailed videos about the history of New Zealand and its parks and other interesting places.